Mm, Hey, Gina. Freedom 2A, what's up? What is up? Let me get this up here. So, those of you probably already know about this shit that's happening in Tennessee. And there's just a few things that the sheriff says in the beginning of this interview that just kind of makes me raise my eyebrows. Now, I'm not saying that this was intentionally done, but I'm going to say this. If it is, I don't think they're going to tell us. I've been saying for a long time, these people don't fight fair. They don't fight fair. They don't fight like we fight. They make stuff go boom.
Pack, a special agent with the Department of Safety for the state of Tennessee, one of the public information officers here. Today we'll have Sheriff Davis and Sheriff Kraft deliver the latest updates, and we'll begin with Sheriff Davis.
Hey, prayers go out to all the families that lost somebody in this. And I'm praying that this wasn't nothing but just a simple accident.
Davis.
What's up, Bulldogs?
Good morning. One of the
What's
things
up, John
that I want
Poole?
to start with, and I want to reiterate, we are still dealing in a slow, methodical method. As we get into this, we find it even more devastating than what we thought initially. And that takes us into the fact of the slow.
I'm going to dig up a couple pictures and show you just the scene that they let out so far.
Process. We got communities here. Sheriff Kraft and I both on both sides have communities that have been truly devastated.
I feel that.
It's a tremendous loss, a great loss. The reason I get emotional for that is anytime before I speak to y'all, we always speak to the families. As to be expected, they're very upset. There's a gauntlet of emotions there that's with those folks. And as always, we always like to, excuse me, ask for prayers and thoughts for those families. But as we move forward, we've had changes to this scene even this morning. And what I mean by that is we're finding some of the scene is naturally because of where we're at and has more ordnance that's on it.
What's up, Retro Dad?
We're finding things that's more volatile.
Oh, dead Floozy Mother. What's
as
happening?
Time went, or as the explosion.
Look at the devastation. Hold on, let me pull up this picture right here. Like, that place is leveled. There's nothing left. And I've always said, if I was somebody trying to cause devastation, I would hit soft targets. And I don't say that they try to give nobody no fucking ideas or anything like that, but it's just like with the power plants and stuff. I've said that before. You start knocking power plants out. But this could have just been an accident, but it's just hard for me to envision that. These people knew just what they were working with and how serious it was. And look, there's absolutely nothing left. There's debris strung everywhere. And I mean everywhere. And well, what's going on right now in the world and the way politics is right now, you have to wonder. You just have to.
Has damaged or influenced those ordinance in some way, form, or fashion. Part of the process yesterday that was so slow, we always want to be
look
very
at
transparent with you. but we've gone to extremes as working with the FBI and being able to do things with the phones and identify what phones went off.
That's kind of what made me perk my ears up when they're talking about the phones. And that because we all know that's what they do. They use phones to set things off, if you follow what I'm saying.
At the time of explosion, trying to figure out everything inside the scene. I can tell you that we've had more than probably 300 people. That's done very delicate, very methodical things
Pagers.
inside the scene. And at this time, we have recovered no survivors. Again,
I will say this. I don't think anybody felt anything, you know. Not with a blast like that. They didn't even know what hit them. But man, Jesus Christ, may God be with them. You know what's sad is all these places are easy to find. You can go right on Google and find every one of these places.
it's a great loss to our communities. Sheriff Kraft.
It is, Squirrels. You know, and then when you say something about it, people look at you like you're crazy. But let's be honest, if they wanted to attack us, this is exactly how they do it. Now, hopefully this was just an isolated incident and it was a workplace accident. I'm praying that that's what it is.
As Sheriff Davis said, like I said, this thing is changing constantly. Like I said, we're trying to do our best to take care of the families. AES has been great setting up with family support. FBI, ATF is also here, TBI, about any, I can't even think of all the departments that are here.
I'm scared to name them all.
It's just been overwhelming with all the help that's come in to assist with this tragedy that we're dealing with. Like I said, it's changing
40 miles away.
We found out that.
I mean, you could tell it straight leveled that place. It just straight leveled it.
This morning, some changes in the safety protocol and what we're having to deal with. And it's like we were already going slow, and now we're slowing things down even more, just for safety for everybody.
And that's exactly one of the questions that we had, or
that whole building's
this
gone.
Conference. You see the ambulances here, you see the helicopter here, and that's here for the protection of these guys. That's here for their safety. I mean, it's when we have the situation and we feel that it's that volatile, we want to take care of that and naturally get in front of anything. And matter of fact, it might not be a bad idea for a guy from ATF if. Yeah.
Morning, Guy McCormick. I'm a supervisor special agent with ATF here in Nashville. You need me to come over a little more? Okay, sorry about that. Appreciate the sheriffs and all the support they've given us. What we're doing out here today is we have
I was wondering about that
specialist, our bomb techs,
because like when you have an explosion like that, anything that's explosive is going to go off.
With support from not only the troopers who have been fantastic, but a number of other law enforcement agencies. And like the sheriff said, too many to name, and I'd be doing them a disservice if I try to name them all, up there helping us right now. In a situation like this, what we find is that when these explosives are subject to the event that took place, which is heat, the explosion, being thrown, pressure, they can change and they can become different than how we know them to act. So right now, all of our bomb techs, our explosive specialists are up there very thoroughly, methodically trying to make safe the area so that when our national response team comes in this afternoon, that area can be as safe as possible for every law enforcement up there.
Now, how long has this place been in operation? Anybody know?
So we can go ahead and make sure we do that search and recovery efforts in the safest manner as possible. And that's what ATF and our partners are doing right now.
ChatGPT, what's a future-proof
smart mouth.
business in 2025?
Yeah, I get you on that. I get you on that.
One of the things that I know that you may have heard that's also on scene, TBI.
They have had problems
Is
before.
on scene with their rapid DNA. They use that term rapid DNA, and this situation is going to be, again, very hard because of the circumstances, because of the devastation. Can we get an idea of some DNA? Absolutely. Here again, we want to make sure that we're taking the time to confirm. Anytime we do anything like that, we always want to make the confirmation for our families, for everybody that's involved in this concern. Patience. We're asking for patience. The community's outpour of support, unimaginable. We have people, Sheriff and I have had people and other sheriffs from across the state
Tore up.
to reach out to us. We're very appreciative of that.
That's the thing about them small communities. Everybody knows everybody, so it affects everybody.
Okay, this time we'll take some questions. Nicole?
Earlier you said you've not recovered any survivors. Does that mean you perceive that all 18 people missing are dead?
We're making the, now keep in mind there were, and I don't want to have confusion here, there were some folks that were on the scene that left. We talked about that, that were involved. Those are not including that. At this time, again, and I want to reiterate the comment that I made, I can tell you that more than 300 people have been through almost every square inch of
In the
this
80s.
facility, and at this time we've recovered no survivors.
Does that mean you're holding out any hope for survivors?
Ma'am, I never want to give up hope. Hope's always in my heart. But I don't want to give false hope either.
Right, you said you're checking DNA.
Well, again, we are doing the DNA, but we're going to have to slow walk that because of the scene, the way that the scene is, and as devastating as it is for any type of true confirmation.
Sheriff, does that mean you're no longer in the search?
Any bodies found?
At some point in time, we've got to rip off the Band-Aid. Can I tell you, and I alluded to it yesterday, it's not like working a accident. It's not like working a tornado. We're dealing with explosions. And I would
That's
say
an
at this
awful
time, we're
big
dealing with-
explosion, though. You know what I'm saying? To level the whole place, that's a little isolated incident that hurts one person's one thing, but something to level the whole place.
And we're moving to recovery, sir.
Sheriff, you mentioned that
Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. She had one.
Thank you, sir. Can you say that you have informed family members you have identified the remains of their loved ones? And if so, how many remains have you positively identified at this point?
As of currently, we're in the process of the identification of the remains.
So can you say how many you've successfully done at this point?
I can tell you by other means that we can tell you who was in the building at the time of the explosion.
Wow, that is sad, man.
What can we tell people? There's 18 people missing as of last night. What can we say now?
I think the expectation of anyone that was inside that building and anybody that we can probably make the assumption, and I'm not even going to use the word assumption, I think that we can utilize, well, I have to use that word, forgive me, we can assume that they are deceased at this time.
And you said that you saw things that were more volatile. What exactly do you mean?
Well, there's, you know, we're dealing the type of facility that we're talking about, and I'll come back to you in just a moment. The type of facility, the ordinance, the type of facility that this is, the things that they deal with, how they make it. It's more explosive devices, and when we have explosive devices of that we don't know their gas makeup that's changed, the compound makeup has changed. I'm not a chemist. I don't want to get into even try to get over into all of that. But when these professional folks tell me that we have a very volatile scene and that we're going to have to be extremely slow and methodical, and that's what we're going to do. So, yes, ma'am. Hold on, sir.
Sheriff, you said the situation is developing, so is the public safe? Can we anticipate more detonations possibly?
we can possibly we are going to possibly have some of those that we're going to have to dispose of in some way, form, or fashion. We have got it set up and arranged to where we're going to have a notice
So
that's
that
going
was
to come out to
rocket
you
fuel?
guys, as well as trying to put it out to the community if that does take place or when that takes place, and we will try to answer that.
Sheriff, have you ruled out foul play?
Again, we're in an investigative type situation. And I can I say we're going to rule out foul play? We can't answer that. That might be days or weeks or months before we can do that. And it's like I've said every time before, we have one shot at this, and we're going to take our time to make sure that we do the very best for our people and those victims involved.
I'm glad he answered that question, right? Because that's kind of what's on everybody's mind with everything that's going on right now in the world.
Yes.
Question for ATF. With your preliminary assessment, is there any cause that you have identified so far?
So I really can't answer that question right now. Like I said, our national response team, who are really the worldwide experts in all this, who are coming from all over the country, will be here this afternoon. They will begin their long, thorough investigation to determine the cause and origin of this explosion. That type of information will probably get out to you guys in the next days and weeks to come as they do their investigation and develop that.
All right, thank you, everybody.
She had
One more
last one.
question.
Do you feel like there's any risk to anyone outside this facility at this point?
I do not.
Thanks, everybody. We'll update you as to when the next press conference is. We will try to make the ATF folks available, the experts. So if you have those technical questions, we'll be able to get those for you. The Humphreys County Emergency Management Agency Facebook page is the official page of notification. So if you're not following that, I would encourage you to do that. Otherwise, we'll be back when we have some more things to share. Okay. Thanks, everybody. All right.
That's crazy, man. That is crazy. There's shit going on everywhere, ain't they? When was this? One dead in Alabama pipeline explosion. I don't know when that was. Oh, that was 8 years ago. That ain't now. 16 people killed in Tennessee plant. Hold on, I'll share this with y'all. We'll read it together. 16 people killed in Tennessee plant explosion. Remembered by community. The losses are staggering. Just miles from rural Tennessee plant leveled by a devastating explosion. Napa Valley Baptist Church devoted Sunday service to the 16 deceased victims and their families. Several of the dozen of people praying at the small church knew somebody who worked at the plant owned by Accra Energetic Systems, which supplied and researched explosives for the military and is well-known employer in the area. There's a somber kind of vibe right now in the community just because so many lives that have been affected by it, said Pastor Jimmy Andrews of the church in Nulleyville. His family and friends just trying to hold each other up during this most difficult time. So they made stuff for the military. I don't think it was rocket fuel. The cause of the blast, Friday's blast, remains under investigation. Crews were carefully going through incinerated property, searching for possible evidence. Authorities warned of smaller controlled explosions Sunday to dispose of hazardous materials. Sources close to the investigation told CBS News on Saturday that the area appears to be much more unstable than they thought, which was slowing down the assessment of the site. Yeah, I hope that I hope they don't figure out it was a terrorist. That's all. Yeah, it's not what they said, though, Bum. all I can go by is what they say, right? That's what you have to kind of go by, unless you got firsthand knowledge of it. We're at war within. I can't believe anything else. They made shit do demolition on big buildings. Dude, we felt the blast at work in Ashland City, about 50 miles away. Yeah, no, hey, that shit sends a shockwave for sure. What's up, Donna? Susie Q, Ram Red, good afternoon. Let's see if we can find out. We'll answer that question, though. Let's see what they say. Let's see. What was made at the plant in Tennessee that exploded Friday? The plant in Tennessee that exploded on Friday was known for manufacturing and testing military grade explosives, development and storage of products and explosives for the military, aerospace, and commercial demolition markets. The explosion at the plant has left a significant impact on the community. Let's see what they're saying at USA Today. No, they ain't saying that. It's just pictures. Yeah, it doesn't say nothing about rocket fuel. We don't worry about the like button, Susie Q. We just hanging out, man, just talking. I don't care if the video gets shared or likes or nothing. That ain't what does this for. I hope it was a simple mistake, though. I really do hope and pray that. Yeah, it's kind of what I thought. But no rocket fuel. I didn't see no tanks in any of the pictures that I had seen. But, I mean, there. I mean, we can ask, though. See what it says. I said, was there rocket fuel stored at the Tennessee plant that exploded Friday? There is no information regarding what the hell. there's no specific information regarding rocket fuel being stored at the Tennessee plant that exploded Friday. The explosion occurred at Accurate Energetic Systems facility that manufactures explosive and energetic devices, but it did not mention the presence of rocket fuel. So that's debunked. I know this. I know it would be easy to get up around sites like that that's not accurately guarded and make something like that happen. Well, you would think that they would mention that, though. Let's see. All right, so this is pictures before and after. Let's see if we seen tanks. This is the place right here. I don't see any tanks, homie. I mean, I just don't. You see any rocket fuel tanks? Because I don't. If somewhere stored rocket fuel moment, they would be tanks out there. I just see a warehouse. That's all I see. I see a warehouse that's heavily wooded area around it that would be easy to get to, is what I see. And this is probably an unloading spot up here. I don't know why hell you can't really see it on there. This is probably an unloading spot right here for semis. They probably pull in right there and get unloaded. But there's no tanks on there. 7 buildings. All right, this is another picture of it. I still don't see no tanks. Yeah, I still don't see no tanks. Damn, that's a shame. And unless the news says it or somebody inside that really knows says it, you can't look up what solid rocket fuel is stored in. Yeah, that's a good idea. What's up, dear Cashville? against it. Oh, son of a bitch. Nobody ain't trying to buy no damn car. I don't know why that thing does that shit to me. I don't know if that building's big enough to store something like that. Yeah, I don't think that. I mean, look at the layout. It takes to move that stuff. It takes a crane on a trolley. I don't think. I just yeah. Mm-mm. Yeah, I mean, look at this right here. I mean, we'll view this image right here. That facility didn't even look like it could handle anything like that. Ain't that right, Jay Prez? 177 feet long by 14 diameter pressure vessel leaving our fabrication shop in Seattle. Weighing 175 tons. Assembled and shipped in one piece, it took under 12 months to fabricate with a welding rejection rate of less than 1%, and more importantly, 0 injuries on the project. Another successful, on time, and under budget project by the team. Seattle, Washington. Might have been, bro. Might have been. I looked for you, though, man. I was trying to prove your point. But I don't see nothing that says it's stored rocket fuel there. That whatever it was volatile. We're getting way off topic anyway. I said, what was stored at the Tennessee plant that blew up Friday? Yeah, it just says testing military grade explosives. What's up there? 16. Yeah, I got you, but that ain't what was there. All I can go by is what the people on here say. I can't go by hearsay of what somebody else had told somebody else that told somebody else. I got you. But there isn't anything on here that says anything about it. So you can't really say that it was storing rocket fuel. I mean, I've asked it and it doesn't say. It just says that it was military grade explosives. They've had an explosion. So you have to kind of go by that. You know what I mean? Yeah, munitions plant. It doesn't say anything about rocket fuel. I had no idea, Big Orange. I have no idea. That's why I say I don't know. You would think it would be in the title though when you put it in there, known for storing, explosive ammunition for the military and rocket fuel. Whatever it wasn't good. I'll tell you that. I'll try to look it up a different way. Let's see if they got video on it. All right, enough of that. Let's just hope it wasn't a fucking terrorist attack. Let's just be blunt with it. Yeah, Susie is sad as fuck, man. It really was as sad as fuck. But if it was rocket fuel, they would. Don't you think they would say it though? Yeah, that's what somebody else was saying. ADA. But hey, when the next one goes off, we just say it was an accident. That's why they're searching phone records and shit, right? Trying to figure out what phone did what. That just kind of piqued my ears because that's how they set devices off. Like somebody else said in the chat, man, go pagers, and that may not be what happened. When he said that, it just kind of made me go, what the fuck? Oh, yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. I wouldn't want to work at a place like that, just to be honest with you. Here we go. This might do us a little better right here.
Granger. Separately, apart from the tariff threat, in just 24 hours, the Trump administration hit China from two completely different angles. First, proposing to ban the Chinese airlines from flying over Russia. Secondly, slapping sanctions on Chinese refineries and oil terminals for buying the Iranian oil. All right, let's now shift our attention to what's happened in the United States, where multiple people have reportedly been killed while several others have been missing following a large explosion in south-central United States. The blast took place at a military explosives plant in Tennessee on Friday morning, and the authorities are saying that this explosion occurred at the Accurate Energy Systems, which is located at around 80 kilometers west of Nashville. Drone visuals that you see on the screens show the intense blaze from the debris, billowing smoke into the skies following the devastating explosion. The footage also shows charred and mangled vehicles strewn across the facility, and law enforcement authorities have said that at least about 19 people have been missing. However, they did not give a precise figure on the death toll.
So at this time, we have been able to confirm that we do have 19 souls. We do have several people at this time that's unaccounted for. We are trying to be mindful of families and that situation.
The authorities said that they are still trying to figure out as to what actually caused the explosion. They also said that they are not sure as to how many people worked in the plant or how many were there when the blast happened. And as per the company's website, Accurate Energetic Systems specializes in the development and storage of military, aerospace and commercial demolition explosives.
He did say aerospace. I don't know. Maybe your buddy was talking about propelled rockets, like stuff that comes out of them fucking RPGs and shit like that. I don't know, Stargazer. I don't know. All I heard was just about the explosions, and it just makes you wonder with all the shit that's going on, all the people that they left over here, what's going to be next. And I hope it was an accident, but you have to question shit like that. You just have to, because I've been saying it for a while. That's how they're going to get everybody. They're going to do it like that. We'll know within another month or so if something else tragic like that happens. We start seeing a pattern. But Stargazer, you have to have people as good at sleuthing on the internet to find that shit out. I have no idea. No stone should be left unturned. You're talking about 16 people that died. You can't just sweep shit under the rug. You have to figure out what happened. Yeah, British Bulldog. That's what I'm hoping for. I hope it's not a fucking attack. But there's nothing wrong with questioning it and wondering, That's the thing. People get pissed off, man, when you don't go with the first thing that they say. I don't mean no disrespect to nobody, but if they're not saying that on the news about it, how the fuck can I say, it blowed up over rocket fuel? I can't do that. I know that shit's volatile, but when they say they're making explosives, I mean, you kind of would assume that it was fucking explosives. You have to, Cosmic. You have to. And what's sad is we've gotten to a time where you do have to question every fucking thing. Because let me tell you, if it was a terrorist attack that done that, do you think they'd be right out tell us? No. And I don't go with just what's up, pimp? Say they was making that shake and do in the bathroom. They had that Mountain Dew bottle shaking it up. But I mean, you just have to worry about that shit now. And in my opinion, there ain't a damn thing wrong with questioning it. There's a lot of shit that's been happening here lately. Look what's been going on over the last few years. And I'm going to tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if fucking power plants were next. That's the heartbeat of this country is a power plant. Fuck. If I was a terrorist, that's the first thing I'd attack. And I wouldn't be claiming it either. I'd just do it. That's what's up, Cosmo. Say hush, hush. I know it's Suzy Q. But I seen a video. I hate to even say this. You gotta get his kicked. I seen a video where they're fucking letting a damn moss up there in Michigan. Some lady was complaining about that shit. And I was like, yeah, y'all voted it. Y'all voted for that shit. What's up, Average? What's happening? I'm trying to read some more and see what's up. Holy shit. You're right. Look right here. Look what I just. Move this over here. We're 120. Let's say $120 million order for a 155 shell components for Ukraine explosive manufacturing company. That's crazy.
And the building is just a total loss.
Oh yeah, Stargazer for sure. Shit. $120 billion or $1 million contract just signed. So you was spot on. Yeah, things that make you go, When was that, Jay? When was that? Let me look it up. Nuh-uh. Are you fucking serious? I wonder why I didn't hear nothing about that. Let's see what it says here. Images of yeah, when I put that in, all it does is it just shows everything in I'm putting North Georgia. No, it just says that they invested a bunch of money, 41 million. Yeah, it doesn't say nothing about one in Georgia. That's the only thing I can find on it. That would be freaky as fuck, though. Underwood Ammo invests 41 million to build new ammunition manufacturing facility in Georgia. That was 12 days ago, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I've been thinking there for a second, though. Yeah, Dave, I would think, you would think, you would hear about it. That don't mean he didn't read something about it, but that could be something totally different, though. You know what I mean? It might not have been big enough to make the news either, but that shit right there, crazy. But you heard what that police say. They're not ruling it out. They're not ruling out nothing. Mm. And that could be what caused it to Smart Mouth is them being pushed into to overdrive. This is a huge red flag with these explosions. I find it hard to believe that an average explosion eliminated everything around what one massive blast was an accident. This is horrible. And we'll find out, Carl. We will definitely fucking find out. But that's the first thing I thought of when I heard that dude say they were checking for like phone records and stuff. I mean, if it was an accident, why would you need to check phone records? You know when it went off, the shock wave of it, I guarantee is sent off some kind of sensors with earthquakes and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And they got them fucking sensors everywhere. One thing that scares me about Tennessee, though, is they got all that fucking shit running across the ground in them pipes, that damn nuclear waste and shit. That's crazy. One accident like that right there could wipe out so fucking much. And when you get that nuclear, y'all know, I ain't telling you nothing you don't know. Nuclear waste fucks everything up. All right. Well, I'm gonna shut this down now. I'll see y'all again 5:30. We're gonna talk about some shit. We'll holler.